Hi Groaners, at the time of writing this episode, the Swiss fire had just happened in the early hours of 1st of the 1st, 2026. Tragically, 40 people lost their lives, whilst a further 116 were injured. Sparklers too close to the ceiling were named as the cause of the fire. This episode will still go ahead as the first one of 2026, but whilst not mentioned in the episode, we at GZHQ would like to mark this episode as a tribute to those who lost their lives. This is why, here and there in the episode, you'll hear the Switzerland national anthem. Thank you, Groaners. We'll now go ahead with the show. Welcome to episode 168, which is our first episode of 2026. This is already the coldest year I've ever expected or experienced in my life, and I'll soon be 43. Everyone stay safe out there, okay? Mind the ice and the snowfall, especially if you're in Durham, Northumberland, or Scotland regions. October 2022 to January 2026. Feels like we've been doing this show for decades, doesn't it? I know time just seems to get away from us at times, but I can't believe it's lasted this long. I know I get confused with the birthday of the podcast sometimes, whether it's 4 years or 3 years, but because it was born in 2022, I'm going to say it's 4 years. Or is it 5? I don't know, I might have lost the train of thought right now, but never mind, Groaners. Let's get back on track. What have we got for you for this first episode of 2026? We bring you 4 games, not including the end of the show game, What the Hell Is This? Yes or BS is there, Talking Nonsense is there, 50-50 is there, and lastly, the 5-point countdown is also tagging along. Next week though, we'll be trying out a new game which features backwards music, so that should be fun. However, it does mean I can't play the answer forwards, because then probably I'll get done for copyright. Mercifully, playing the tune backwards shouldn't get me in trouble. I hope. You groan tent? Well, that'll speak for itself as we go. And your audience groan is once again the ever faithful groaner Kelly of High Heaton. She's been on a groan roll recently via Facebook Messenger. With all that said, let's get the show underway with my groans. Freezing temperatures and people. What a combination. I don't know what it is about where I live, but recently we've had minus temperatures and it feels even colder than that when you're outside. You'd think people would dress smart, but no. You get people coming out in Crocs, shorts and t-shirts, crop tops, and other unsuitable things. Do these people understand what winter is? It's not summer weather. These are the same people who then complain by going, it's cold. I hate the cold, especially ice and snow, and there is no way in the devil's bumhole would I go outside in shorts in this. Come on, people, dress properly. These are minus temperatures. No road prep. So on my streets the last few days, it's been icy as hell and there's been no grit or anything put on pathways or roads. There was plenty of warning, yet no action was taken until probably late of last week, or the week just gone I should say. This leads to bus delays or cancellations and similar with other transportation. If you get given plenty of notice, take preparations, just like our council didn't. Shrinking chocolate bars. This has been going on for years, but it's getting stupid now. A small Milky Way for over £1. That's literally a bar I can fit in my mouth. A chomp. Another bar I can fit in my mouth hole for 80p. I know we want kids to be healthy, but beating the prices up hurts everybody. Soon enough all food will follow, especially with the annual April price hikes, which also dentists and doctors do, so that's not getting avoided. And these will already go on top of price hikes that Morrison's etc. have already done. Yes, I noticed these little price hikes you've done, you sneaky swines. Absolutely disgusting. And that, Groaners, is my groans done for another episode. We'll just brush them to the corner until the audience groan comes out later on. And with the groans brushed aside, we'll now go for games now with our first one, which is Yes or BS. You should all know this one, but going into the new year I'll explain it. You must avoid the false statements. If you get a false statement in round 1, you've got no points in round 2. If you get a point in round 1 but get a false statement in round 2, you get blanked. That's roughly how the game works. Key thing is, don't get blanked, Groaners. Round 1. The Stressed Honey Venus round. A single day on Venus lasts longer than its entire year. B. The Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish can revert to its juvenile state when stressed, effectively living forever. C. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Himalayan tombs that is still perfectly edible. Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think, pick your statement, and then unpause. Moving on. Round 2. The 4-whale bananas round. A. Octopuses have 4 hearts. B. A blue whale's heartbeat can be heard from over 2 miles away. Or C. Botanically, bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think, pick your statement, and then unpause. Moving us along, round number 3. The Space Tree Wombat round. A. Wombat droppings are cube-shaped to prevent them from rolling away and to mark territory. B. Trees are younger than sharks. Or C. Space has no smell. Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think, answer, or should I say pick your statement, then unpause. The answers will come later in the show, Groaners. Hopefully you didn't get wiped, but you'll find out later. We'll now flip over to the creepier factor of the episode now with Admin Nicole and her creepy corner. This week's story picks up from before the Christmas special and is called Onwards to Confusion and Emotion. Robin went off to a separate room to talk to Sean, leaving Cove with Harmony, a name he knew would take time to adjust to. Sean wasn't sure what more he could offer, but he could warn them. Harmony, whatever she was now, was new. If any others were like her, they had to be few and far between. A new form of evolution, beyond even what Carla or Robin were. Something potentially even more advanced than whatever Cove was. If news of her existence came about, then their lives would change to something unimaginable. Sean had a best friend, one who was very dear to him. He trusted Liam more than life itself. They were brothers by spirit and bound by blood. In a fight with a scientist back in the days of the Green Death, he died. Sean tried his best to be there for the family left behind, but in the end, the torture never stopped crushing his heart, and he had to step back. The family understood after all. Liam's wife too understood the pain, and in her own way felt the same as Sean. To each other, they were both a stark, painful reminder of a man they deeply loved in their own ways. They vowed to be there for each other if they needed to, but aside from then, they were to stay apart. Sean was untouched. His wife and son were still alive. Even his daughter, despite the state she was now in. In ways they both lost dearly, but sometimes seeing the reminder of who you lost can only bring about more pain than you can bear to live with. Sean told Robin to go to them. Liam's wife would welcome them warmly. They lived in a small village not far from the outskirts of the forest. It was the closest village to the castle town. If anyone could help them or give them any information on where to go, it would be them. Liam's wife Mabel had promised Sean that she would protect his research and keep it hidden from the scientists. Where Sean focused on deer and protecting the forest, Liam was a scientist focused more on pigs and soil. If anyone could tell them about mushrooms and any way to help them defeat Lily, it had to be his research. Robin sighed, unable to hide his pain. He knew what he had to do, and yet it would never stop the pain in his heart. One day, his sister would see freedom again, and yet there was only one way to do it, and only he who could. Dawn packed them a picnic, assuring them it would be enough to get them to the village where Mabel and her daughter Violet lived. Sean offered apologies for not being able to help more, but Robin assured him he couldn't have gotten this far without Sean and his family's help. It might have been good for Cove to stay a little longer. He was thriving in the forest, but if they stayed in one place for too long, then they would be discovered. They set off down the forest path, staying close to the trees and away from the path. Follow the moss north and stay in the shadows of the trees as much as possible. That's what they were told. That's what would lead them to the village. Fawn caught up to them to warn them something his father couldn't say, something he hates to admit. Mabel and Violet would be in that village, and yet the village itself is cursed. They were in fact the ones keeping the curse alive. Sean told Fawn about it one night, but the scientist started lurking more and more, and he couldn't afford to leave. Something evil is in that village, and Mabel is keeping it alive. Fawn didn't think she was possessed or evil, but even desperation and confusion can lead to risky decisions. Robin thanked him for advice of sorts, before Fawn disappeared back into the trees as the watcher of the forest. A responsibility he took very seriously. No scientist would make it into the forest without him knowing after all. Cove darted off ahead, keeping himself in sight of Robin, while enjoying the grass and the flowers. He would roll down small hills on his shell. To Cove, the bad things didn't exist. He had no reason to worry. That was why he would always look over at Robin whenever danger appeared. As long as he was calm and happy, Cove had no reason to worry, and if he ever looked worried or scared, Cove would stay close to reassure him. In his slowly growing world of his, there couldn't possibly be anything scary. Harmony slowed herself down to match Robin's pace. He was doing his best to smile as he looked at Cove in front of him, yet Harmony knew it was a lie. She reached out for his hand, but then stopped herself. She wanted to stay quiet, but she couldn't. "I'm sorry. I'm Carla, but I'm not. I'm more than her. I'm all of them. And now I'm me. I don't know what that even means for me yet. I know how deeply you loved her, though. You've always loved her, and because of my existence, you'll never get to tell her. I'm sorry you have to be so with a strange hybrid freak like me," she said. "You're not a freak, but by that logic, I am too. I have the blessing of a gorilla, and sure, I look human, and I'm not created from several different personalities like you, but I'm still a freak. We're all freaks here, even Cove. We have no idea what he fully is, or what he's capable of. What's so bad about that, though? You're still my family, and you're right. I love Carla, and that will never change, but you never took that from me. You're not a part of her or a product of her, she's a part of you. She always was. Maybe it'll take me time to come to terms with this, as it will you, but I'm sure one thing I know is that no matter how much you change, how you look, or who you are, I can never love another. Take whatever name you want, the girl I loved will always be the one who beat me with a tree branch when we were just 6 years old. If you ask me, all of you are now exactly how she was back then. Carla softened her personality for self-preservation, but I've always loved every side of her, and I finally get to see all of her again. I never thought I'd see that day, but I have to thank you for that, for letting me see the girl I love finally whole again," he explained. "Well, Nicole, it seems you're exploring the deeper regions of personalities and other things here, but I hope all comes right for Harmony, Robin, and Cove and the gang. I really hope it does, and I hope to see more of the old gang in the upcoming stories. I don't know if they're going to show up, but I hope they do. But now, Groaners, we will move on to the section that brings strangeness and other things with What the... Now, this happened in Australia. I believe it's Australia, but just wait till you hear this. The Mayor of Derwent Valley has issued an unusual public health warning after apparent bite marks were discovered on a public toilet seat. Mayor Michelle Draculis, again I'm sorry if I butchered your name there, took to social media asking people not to eat toilet seats. I get hunger may be a thing, but honestly, eating a bog seat and then having to go onto social media telling people not to do this. This is more than a what the, but this is definitely a what the indeed. Please, if you have the urge, do not eat a toilet seat. Go buy a loaf of bread, get anything, just don't sink your gnashers into a toilet seat. It ain't good for you, and it's not good for the toilet. Now from that strangeness, Groaners, we go straight into the 5-point countdown. Clue 5 for 5 points. By the way, we're going to do it as we did before. I'm going to give you all 5 statements. You can guess at the end, but try and guess along where I say the clue. So if you think, clue number 4, I've got it, then guess there. But you'll get it, Groaners. You'll get the idea. Clue 5 for 5 points. They're the largest rodents in the world, weighing up to 150 pounds, which is about the size of a large dog. Clue 4 for 4 points. They can sleep in water by keeping only their noses above the surface to breathe. Clue 3 for 3 points. Their feet are partially webbed, making them excellent swimmers and agile in muddy terrain. Clue 2 for 2 points. Despite their chunky appearance, they can run as fast as 29 miles an hour, roughly the same as a horse. And their last clue, clue number 1 for 1 point. Known for their extremely chill nature, They often let other animals like birds, monkeys, and even small caimans sit on their backs. Groaners, what am I talking about? I'll tell you later on, and then you'll figure out where you scored points and how many. We revert back to Groans now with Kelly in the audience groan. And this is a gamer groan, Groaners, and it's about a particular game called The Sims. And she groans, why is The Sims game life consuming? You can switch the game on, and before you know it, it's the year 2065, and your life has passed before your eyes, and you are now 80. I'm not sure if she means your character turns 80, or how much time you lose playing games, which happens to me all the time. I could be sitting there playing on a game like Red Dead, and before I know it, about a billion hours have passed, and I've aged by about 6 years. Yep, Kelly, I get what you mean exactly. Yep, time-consuming games is both a groan and also a good thing because it passes time if you're waiting for something. But anyway, if you want to drop a groan in like Kelly did, you want to send any groan tent in, or anything else, give us feedback or anything like that, you can do so in many ways. You can send an email into the groanzonepod@gmail.com. You can join us on Facebook groups under the Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. Hit us up on Discord under the Groan Zone, where we normally would record live, but we're not doing that yet. In there, you can see the games like Admin Cause Anxiety and Past What the Hells, and also take part in them, of course, as well as leaving your content, well, groan tent, and other suggestions. You can hit up myself or Admin Nicole on Facebook Messenger. That is Mr. E. Groaner and Nicole Amos. And last but not least, you can drop a comment on any episode on any platform that you listen on, but you might want to drop us another contact via an email to say you've done that, because we don't always get alerted. And that is how you contact the show, Groaners. We hope to hear from you. From Groans, again, we move on to why or why. I don't know what it is, but why do birds fly into open windows and then they panic, being unable to get out? They can navigate their way back to the nest and can of course fly, which is amazing. Yet they cannot find the opening in an open window. Yes, birds do have small brains, but really, being fooled by a window? I've just got to ask, why, oh why? Why are you so cruel, Mother Nature? Let the bird out of the window. Let's go back to games, Groaners, with talking nonsense. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to rattle them all off, and then you can play them back at your leisure, Groaners, as many times as you like until you think you've got it. So, round one. Your clue is, they contain heat and can cause you pain. Your nonsense is... Round two. Your clue is, you can eat them toasted or untoasted. Your nonsense is... And last one, round three. Your clue is, it is a well-known brand of fizzy drink with various flavours. Your nonsense is... The solutions to talking nonsense will come later. We'll see how good you are at converting gibberish back into English, Groaners. Now, Groaners, we're going to move on to our zero of the week. And this is just horrible. Now, I know I'm old now. I'm getting into my mid-40s nearly. But there's no way I would do this to a kid. A little lad who's 5 years old built a snowman. And then some grumpy old fool came along and destroyed the snowman with a shovel. It wasn't even in the way of his car. I mean, come on. The kid's 5 years old. Why would you do that? And it's just a snowman? I mean, come on. Even the dad was horrified. The dad's 35, younger than I am. The kid took 45 minutes to build the snowman. And it was actually his first one. Well, his second one, because the first one got knocked down. Then the second one gets knocked down. I mean, why do it? Let kids be kids. Oh, come on, let's all be grumpy. I hope this old guy feels like some semblance of shame for himself. And you are a zero of the week, you grumpy old sod. Let the kid have a little bit of fun instead of destroying a snowman in front of him. I mean, come on. I bet you wouldn't have something to do to your grandkids, would you? You're a zero of the week, you idiot. But also, Groaners, we're going to go back in time a little bit for our hero of the week, because this guy is an absolute legend, and you've probably seen the Tom Hanks film. I'm not a big fan of Tom Hanks anymore. The film Sully. And this was the Miracle on the Hudson, where Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger successfully landed a US Airways flight on the Hudson River after bird strikes disabled both engines, and all 155 people on board survived. He's a hero for all time, not just for the week. Captain Sully, if you're still alive, well done to you, sir. A hero for all time, not just for the week, not just for January, for all time. And now, Groaners, we move on to our nearly last game of the episode with 50-50. You know this one, Groaners. I give you a statement with two little statements after it. One of those statements, linked onto the big statement, is correct. One of them is not correct. You've got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Here we go. Round number 1. But again, Groaners, I'm going to go through both rounds, and then you get to pause and pick the right statement for yourself. And then I'll tell you later if you got it right or wrong. So as I said before, round number 1. The Sonic Snap is a weapon used by either A, the Incredible Hulk, or B, the Pistol Shrimp. Pause here, Groaners. Have a think, pick a statement, then move on to round number 2. Which bird can mimic other birds as well as chainsaws and other sounds? Is it A, a parrot, or B, the lyrebird? Pause here, Groaners. Have a think, pick a statement, and then later on I'll tell you which 50-50 is right for each round. But now, Groaners, later is already here, and I'm going to give you the game answers right away. So for yes or BS, if you picked A or B in round 1, congrats, you've got points. Obviously is, if you picked C, you haven't got any. Round 2, if you picked B or C, you've still got points. If you picked A, congratulations, you've got none. Round 3, if you picked A or B and you've got points in the other 2 rounds, you had a clean sweep. However, if you picked C and did have 1 point in the previous round, congratulations, you've now got none. Hopefully nobody got blanked during the whole entire game. If you did, unlucky. There's always time to try in the future. And now, if you did play the 5-point countdown, the answer was a capybara. Moving us along to 50-50, the answer for round number 1 wasn't the Incredible Hulk, it was the Pistol Shrimp. And for round 2, the correct answer was the lyrebird. I know a parrot can mimic human speech, but it can't do noise like chainsaws and everything else. It might be able to do a mobile phone, but the lyrebird, in its natural environment, it can do chainsaws, other birds, and other weird and wonderful noises. Moving along, we now have the game answers for Talking Nonsense. For round 1, your nonsense was chili peppers. For round 2, your nonsense was of course the old favourite, marshmallows. And for round 3, if you're a Coca-Cola fan, if you're a cola fan and know your colas, the answer was Pepsi Cola. Congratulations if you spun the gibberish to English Groaners. And lastly, the final one, the anagram solution for the New Year special for anagram anxiety was, of course, it was easier than I thought it was. The answer was New Year's Day, and Admin Nicole called me out a good one there. Well played, Admin Nicole. But before we go, Groaners, we've got one more game for you, which is, what the hell is this? This building is the tallest building currently in Dubai, and it stands at 828 meters. That's 2,717 feet tall. What is it, Groaners? You'll see the picture on Podbean, Facebook groups, and you'll see it on Discord as well. And the solution to it will come in the next episode, Groaners. Good luck. Hope you can guess what it is. And with that, Groaners, that takes us to our first episode, at the end of the first episode, I should say, of 2026. Thanks for listening, Groaners. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Lank groaners. Sean told Robin to go to them. Liam's wife would. Sean. Robin thanked him for the advice of. Robin thanked him for the advice of. This sentence.